Well, hi, you guys. Welcome to our Monday night skills call. I'm so excited for tonight's call. I have to tell you that I don't really know you, Alana. I got to meet you briefly in Scottsdale, and I've been hearing some things about you. And one of the things that I have learned in this business is surround yourself with energy, right? How many of you had energy in your business and then not have energy in your business, right? Like we go here and then we go here. And so what I love to do is Arbonne is typically filled with seasons in our business, right? So we have seasons of growth and sometimes we have seasons of more down. And I know, Alana, you're in a season of growth. So as I was seeing a post that said you had already hit your DM bonus, you're having an amazing month, you're in an amazing season.
Mhm.
And I just thought it would be fun for everybody to, first of all, hear your story, because I know you've been in Arbonne longer than this season of growth that you're in right now,
Right.
and kind of just your story, a little bit about that. And then sort of the change that happened where you think that things kind of pivoted a little bit. So if we can start with that, that would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So around a year ago, so it was actually a year and 2 days ago, I went to my first ever Arbonne party. So I had met Ashley. She was friends with my dad, and I was friends with her little sisters, but her and I had never made that connection. And I started going to the CrossFit gym, and she was there, and she would not stop talking about Fizz. And I had never heard of Arbonne, but she just Fizz was her thing. And so I walked up to her, and she was biking, getting ready for RAGBRAI. And I was like, can I try one of those Fizz things you keep talking about? And she whipped them out of her pants. She literally had them in her pants while she was biking and asked what flavor I wanted. And I remember I was so scared to walk up to her and ask her, and I didn't know why. And I went home that day and I put it on my kitchen table and I didn't use it. And then she invited me to a St. Patrick's Day party. And that was when I went. And the reason I joined Arbonne was because of the community. It had nothing to do with the products. I didn't had nothing to do with the business model. I had no idea what Arbonne was. But like Ash, if anybody has ever been to Ashley's home, which many of you probably haven't, it is so welcoming and inviting, and just who Ashley is as well. It was just like I walked up to her, she was in the conversation with somebody, and I said, "How do I do what you do? Because you look happy. Like this looks fun. I want to do it." I didn't know I was selling product. I really didn't know anything. I took one green shot that night, like, and then I just fell in love with the community. So that's kind of when I joined. And that was on March 24th is my 1 year. So we're almost there. And I didn't even like get my products until like right at the end of the month. And I don't know. I just started sharing. I was like, I started this business. These products apparently are really good. You should try it. And I sold like somewhere between 500 and like $1,000 worth of product before I had my product. I just like was sharing like ignorance on fire. Like that's what I was. I didn't know what I was doing. And I went district manager in 2 months, and then I went area in 5. And it was just because I wasn't afraid to share with people. I didn't have this pyramid scheme thing that people are so afraid of with this business. I didn't even know what that meant. I just was like, this stuff works. Like, look at this green gut glow and what it did for me. Y'all need it. Like I just shared like that. And like 2 or 3 months into my business is when I started using Reels, and nothing got traction with my Reels. It didn't really bring in clients. It was just me learning. It was like I go back now and I'm like, those are tragic, but you have to start somewhere and
How
you
do
have to
they
do something that you're
feel?
scared of first. So I was actually really scared to post reels. I was very scared to do that. That was a thing that I was scared of. And for me, I have a really close relationship with God. And one day I felt him calling me to share about my sobriety. And that was actually a reel that went viral and pivoted me to my social media growth. And I kind of went in a lull with Arbonne. So I was having really bad spiritual warfare where the enemy was telling me, you can't share about this business and try and make money when you're supposed to be sharing about God. And it was just like back and forth all the time. And I was like, I was like, I love this business. This business does such good things for people. And then I had the little devil on my shoulder. So I went into a period of slow, and I was just like, I have to get to Arizona. I have to get to Arizona. I need to get out of this mindset. I need to get around the people that I know love this business and do this business well. And I got there, and Ashley and I just kind of looked at each other and we were like, let's go. And I posted one reel, like my first reel I posted from Arizona. I mean, it didn't get like crazy amounts of views, but I signed 7 new independent consultants in a week from posting that one reel from being in Arizona. And that was like the same amount of independent consultants I had signed in almost the entire year I had been in Arbonne. I didn't know what to do. But that's kind of where the growth came. I was just like, I'm ready. Like whatever this is, like there's a reason that I was held back for a while. And I was actually talking to Brooke Neal about it because her and I are pretty close. And I messaged her and she was like, God doesn't give you things you can't handle. So there's a reason all that happened. And there's a reason that this is happening now. So that's kind of where the growth came. I had immediate growth to the area in 5 months because that's kind of quick to do area. And then it was just like a lull for a while. And then the new growth came with the areas in Paradise. I think you're muted. I can't hear you.
There we go. Tori muted all of us. Okay, so I know that I just looked up, you have like 36,000 followers. So you have a lot of followers. Hence, when you post something, it can go viral. So I don't want any of you to think, oh, well, she has way more followers than me, right? You are so consistent on your social media. I've been following you since Arizona. You have very defined pillars that you share on, which is fun to watch. And it's fun to see how you sprinkle in Arbonne now, right? So
Yeah.
you worked hard. I know your sobriety journey went viral. I know you also post a lot about your beliefs. And I know that you are part of maybe like promoting some kind of band, or something. Are you part of like the music industry in some way of?
I mean, I do worship music because I sing at my church. So it's more so that.
Yeah. Yeah. So you just have like the really solid message, right?
Mhm.
So now that do you have, okay, I'm gonna have a couple more questions, but do you have any tips for people with their social media, whether you have 100 followers, 1,000 followers, 10,000 followers, like what is your biggest, like 3 biggest social media tips?
Your numbers don't define your success in your business at all.
Mhm.
Like you can compare me to an MVP. They could have like 200 followers and they could be an MVP because they have those connections with those people. The number really doesn't matter. It just looks. Because I don't get in conversations with 40,000 people every single day about Arbonne. Like it's just the people that matter, and like not everybody matters. That's not what I meant. I've said that wrong. The people that want the business they'll respond and you'll be able to make those connections with them. So my biggest tip is not to care about the numbers, not to care if your reel got 50 views, because that could have been 50 people that needed what you had. I could have 3 million people view my reel and they could all just be mean to me. Like I've had to turn comments off of stuff because people are so mean. But you could have one reel that 50 people saw and maybe you have 10 people that want to come join the business because of it. So just don't let yourself be defined by numbers at all because it really doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yep. And what would you say about consistency?
Just do it. When you don't feel like showing up, just do it. I mean, take like one day. That's what I do is I try to get off stories for one day because then it pushes your stories out to people. But I share everything that's going on. I know some people like to be more private. I'm not that way. I also don't have kids. I don't have things to like keep to myself yet. So I just kind of just share out there. But if it's something that makes me happy, it's your social media. It's not somebody else's. They don't get to decide what you post. They're following you. They can hit that unfollow button if they don't like what you're posting. That's the big thing that I had to make the switch on when I really started to grow. I was like, there's so many eyes on me. Like that's scary. And I was like, but they chose to press the follow. So the people, you can't be scared to post something because they chose to follow you for a reason. Whether that's to watch blindly, whether that's to hate on you, or whether that's to be a part of your business in some way, shape, or form. So just post, be you, be you.
I love it. I love it. And then, okay, so you posted a green got glow. Like, let's say, you got a lot of people replying to that. It kind of went viral for you a little bit. But what was your follow up with that? Someone posts, send me more info. Do you have
Yeah.
any tips for kind of the follow up when people show interest?
Yes, I'm so casual with it. Like, I made the mistake early on. I'd send people paragraphs. I'm sure we've all been there. I look back at like me on GTC last year. I'm like sending people things this long. They don't need that. I just literally say, hey girl, saw you commented on my post that you wanted to hear about the greens. Do you have any questions about it or would you just like the link? Like there's something so easy.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I think of somebody that I think they would be great at the business, I text them like, hey girl, question. Like just straight up. Super, super just plain. Has nothing to do with art. I'm like, hey girl, question. If they're like, yeah, what's up? And they match my energy, I'm like, I do this thing, you should try it. You should just listen to what I have to say. You might need it. Like
I love it. I
I'm
love
I'm
it.
very straightforward and I'm just like, meh, here, casual.
Yeah.
Casual, straightforward.
Yeah. And then you had kind of a lot of people join your team recently. Do you want
Yes.
to tell us a little bit about how that happened? Were those people that you knew that have just been watching you? Or are they people that you didn't know and you just found them on social? Like, how did that all happen?
So, one of them, she's in here, Elena. She has been a PC, a very loyal one for a couple of months. She joined one of my groups in December, and then she ordered on her own all the time. And I was just like, you know what? She loves these products. Maybe she wants to make extra money. She's in school. So I messaged her, immediate yes. And then I posted a reel while we were in Arizona. It's a video of me and Mal on our phones. And I'm like, God gave me a big vision to help people with their lives and to travel and to have time freedom. Comment me below if you're interested in hearing more about it. And I had a couple of girls message me on that, and that I had never seen them before. I didn't know who they were. Very rarely I'll get a DM. One of my girls, she had DM'd me. She's like, I think you do Arbonne, right? She's like, I've been looking for a company to align myself with that's clean. So, like, again, that's a testament to posting every day about your products. Like, people are watching and people see it. They're like, oh, that's something I needed. So, I think it's just getting more exposure and just being consistent. Because I was then posting for a couple of days about Arbonne before I posted that. So people were seeing it. And then they're like, oh, there's a business opportunity linked to this. Give me the info. So that's kind of where that came in.
Yeah. Are you using the new website with your new consultants?
Yes. Oh, praise the Lord.
You want to tell us a little bit about that experience?
It's amazing. It's like they sign up and I'm always like, send me a screenshot where it says congrats with your name, like so we can celebrate together. And then I'm like, bondbasics.com, password Arbonne. Let me know what questions you have. The easiest way to set yourself up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the only thing you can't do right now is sign up with your peer pay. All you have to do, go sign up a PC or two. Like,
Yeah.
then we can set that up. But it's
Mhm.
just, again, it's just like, it makes it so easy.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if all your girls are on here, but are all of them like diving in and just going for it? Or do you have some that are doing more and some that are doing less? And now you know it's the website has the information and you're seeing the difference in some people going for it and some people not, giving you a little peace of mind about your leadership. Any comments
Yeah.
on that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, all of my girls within the first week signed at least one or two new PCs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because they had that information at their fingertips. We're such a clickable like generation. And all these girls are right around my age too. And I know many people in all age ranges are now. We're so clickable. We're so clickable. And to be able to have a website that you can just click through rather than being like, okay, what's my next step? And me being like, okay, here's a voice memo, me telling you about it. Because when I do voice memos, they're not just 30 seconds. I start talking about everything under the sun and then it takes longer, but they're able to do it at their own pace when they have that time. And they're usually so fired up. They're like, let's do it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So
It's
I
so
think it's
nice too,
awesome.
because and it's reasonable to sign up as many people as you did because now you're leveraged with that website. So
Yes. Yes.
yay. Okay. Well, you give us feedback if there needs to be any updates on there. Nikki,
Okay.
I think Tori mentioned you have some questions as well. Do you want to jump in? And I have more I can end with if there's time, but go for it because I know you had a few things to say.
Yeah, thanks. And you guys have covered a little bit of it. Some of them overlapped. Alana, I love that you shared so much of your story. But I think it's really important. I know that you and I had talked, and because you brought it up, I think it's a great thing to dive in a little deeper to about just what happens sometimes when we get a little bit, I don't want to call it imposter syndrome, but Alana, when she started, you had what, 5 or 6 thousand followers on Instagram? Is that accurate?
Four.
4,000. And now is up to 40 almost. So this huge growth. And I think sometimes when we start to have a bigger audience, or we have even just a change in audience that we're used to, we can get nervous. And we could apply this to anything. We could apply this to you go to a new school, or you're in a new church, or you're in a new exercise group. And there's this like I don't know how to incorporate this without it feeling like it's not authentic or it's pushy or I'm just trying to get people to buy something. I know that this was a process that you had to really go through when this growth happened because you felt like the growth came from a different pillar. And so then you struggled with how do I talk about Arbonne now that my growth is maybe from this other area? What advice would you have to people about what you learned through that process? Of course, there's a reason that all the timing is what it is. But for people that are maybe afraid to just share a certain segment, and for what we're talking about tonight, Arbonne specifically, because maybe we think, well, people are here to see the parenting stuff or the house stuff or the health and the exercise stuff. What do you have to say to people about just being authentic in all those areas of your life and not leaving the Arbonne piece out?
Again, people followed you for a reason and the numbers don't matter. I was getting in my head because I was watching these numbers. I was seeing thousands of people follow me a day, like millions of likes and comments coming in, like because I was having all these videos go viral. And I'm like, all these people are just going to leave if I start posting about something that's not about this. I was like, and then what, how can I help them? So then I just shut down rather than opening myself up and being vulnerable about it and getting on and being like, hey, like, this is happening. I'm very open on my social media. I think a lot of people know that. They come to me for that vulnerability. I'm known to cry on my stories. I do TikTok live too. I cry on there and I sing on there. I do like everything. So I think I just let myself get in my head. And again, the numbers don't matter. Like, share what you love. It's your social media. That's just my biggest tip of advice. Like, it's yours. It's not anybody else's. Nobody gets to choose what you post. You do. So
love that. Okay, here's another one that we've gotten a lot of giggles over, especially me and Ashley and you together. So for those of us that are a little bit older, and basically Alana would be that of like a daughter to us, we tend to think that we can only sponsor people that are in our same lifestyle. And so apparently young people like Alana don't really use emojis. And so she's always like, oh my gosh, you and Ashley use so many emojis. But anyhow, it's so funny just to see the difference. But what would you say is the thing that drew you to Ashley, that you guys have this amazing mentorship, even though you're not at the same stage of life? Really, everything about your day to day is different. What was it besides her energy that drew you to Ashley? And then what advice would you have for other people that are looking to sponsor people who aren't the exact same age as them or in the same demographic?
Ashley doesn't care what people perceive her as. At least it doesn't come off that way. She's just her. She's very authentic. Like, if you guys have ever been in Ashley's presence, she's that way. And that's the same as Shannon Wenzel. Like, I love her. She's just her. She doesn't care. That's what I love about people, is when people can just be themselves and you're just pulled to that. You're like, thank you for being authentic with me and being who you are and sharing what you love and sharing what you don't like, And like, I'll say it was her energy. She just loved what she was talking about. You could tell she was passionate about it. So I think people will be drawn to your passion in something. And like, if it's something that they need and you're just sharing from your heart, they'll see that. It doesn't matter what age they are. I have women on my team that have kids, and I have women on my team that are in college. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just whether your personality like links with them or not, or what you have is what they need.
Love that. And then one other one, and then Shannon, I'll pass it back to you. I know that you primarily talk about the Green Gut Glow. Do you feel like you spend most of your time on social honing into one or two things, or do you put everything out there? What's kind of been your philosophy on how you share?
I share mostly about the protein powder and the Green Gut Glow and Fizz, but I'll throw other stuff in there all the time. Like, I'll post like my super boosts, or I'll post me in my eye masks, or I'll post a picture with me with like a face mask, and I'll just be like, best face mask on the market. And I'll just like put a little link so they can, and I said to my website, and then people can just go right to my website. I don't per se like to do the links all the time. Like, I like to be in a conversation with somebody so that they can like, I can see, oh, maybe they needed this too, or maybe they don't need this. Maybe this isn't actually what would help them. But I like to do the tap-ins so I can send people messages and stuff. Like, that's a really good one. That are polls.
Okay, back to me, Nikki. If you guys have questions, please type them in the chat or unmute yourself because we've got 10 more minutes left just to pick Alana's brain. But I did want to say, like, thank you just so much for your overall message that we hear this all the time, just to be authentically you. And I think sometimes, we're all trying to be someone, like if we see someone on social, we're trying to be more like that, but just be inspired by people. Like
Yeah.
I get inspired by consistency. I get inspired by people showing up. I get inspired by, like it's been so fun to follow you. And I'm noticing like you just have this consistent message. I know you do CrossFit and you're insanely strong, right? I know that you do a lot of just your worship and all the things that you do when you go live. I know that you do your Green Gut Glow, and because you put Arbonne in there so well. And I just know you can dance because of being with you, but I just want to applaud you for just being confident and standing in who you are. And I just encourage all of us to do that. I think, there's something about social media, like it's kind of a love-hate relationship, but if you embrace it for what it is and the way you said, who cares what people think? This is your profile. So if you're proud of your stories, your posts, if you don't feel like posting one day because you want to be with your family, don't post. Like it's okay. And just give yourself permission to be you, but show up, figure out your consistency and do that. I just would love to have you give us a few more tips on social, because I think just someone who is being so consistent, like, do you schedule time? Do you time block? Where do you get your inspiration for posts? Just things like that. And then we'll check out the questions to see if there's anything else that people want to know as well.
Okay. My thing in the morning is I wake up, I ice roll my face, I throw on my gel eye masks, I read whatever it is for my 1-year Bible. I did 10 pages out of a personal development book. And then I get on Instagram, I go to the Reels page and I find the first sound that has less than 100 uses and says it's trending.
Okay.
That's the thing I do. And then whatever they kind of post with it, I'm like, if I can make that niche, I'll niche it to me. Whether that is in my Christian niche, whether that's in my CrossFit niche / healthy living, whether that's building a business or talking about bloating, like you need help, I got you. And then a before and after. I find that sound, I decide what one of my pillars I think would fit best with it, and I go and find videos that are in my camera roll and I just throw them in there. That's been the easiest thing for me, knowing if I do it right away in the morning, I have it part of my morning routine, then I can get it out of the way right away. I usually end up being like, oh, I want to post something else today. I'll post on one of my other pillars later, and then later in the day, I'll post another reel. But my biggest thing has been going to that Reels page. I know there's ways to go and use sounds and find the trending sounds and just look through those, but I've found so much more success just going straight to my Reels page. I don't consume the content at all unless the trending button, I press it and it has less than 1,000 views or less than 1,000 uses. Like I don't want it to have 4 numbers. If it has 4 numbers, I'm like, nope, too saturated.
Okay.
I used to say 10K. That was what I thought. And now I've found that when I use them that are under that many, I end up being one of the first of the reels on the page when it goes viral. So I think that's one of my biggest tips is using those really trending sounds that are just starting out.
Okay. And then once you watch it, you kind of get some inspiration from what the original content is.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm so used to creating content too, that it is really natural for me. So for people that it's not, just do whatever, find your most recent video and just throw it on there and throw some text on there and just do something relatable in your niche. You'll begin to really realize what works best for you.
Yeah, definitely. And I heard a tip on a podcast that I love is just if you're someone who kind of struggles with having video, what this gal said is just video your day. Just like as you're going through your day, you're not posting, you're not doing anything. You're just videoing as you're cooking, making something, you're out and about, whatever you're doing, just have video clips on your phone, because sometimes those video clips you can use down the road instead of like, oh, I'm going to make a reel today. I got to figure out content. I got to put, record a video. I have to do all these things. It feels really overwhelming. So do you have any tips on that? Do you just kind of have a lot of videos on your phone? How do you organize those? Is there, yeah, here we go. Those are all your videos
Those are all my videos.
from like this
Got
week?
my phone in June.
Okay.
Like I take videos of everything. Like if I'm washing the dishes, I could set my phone up. Everybody, I will send an Amazon link to y'all for this thing. This thing is the best thing ever. Let me show you. If you guys don't know what this thing is incredible. You can take video anywhere.
Okay, Alana just changed our life. Yes, send the video, send the
It's
link.
called an
We'll post it.
Octopod. It sticks to like everything. So I can just take videos wherever I want.
Okay.
So
What's it called?
it's a game changer. It's called an Octopod. You can get it on Amazon for like, I think it's like $12.99.
You guys,
Game changer.
game changer. Okay. So we need an octopod. We need to record everything. What else to have content? Like, do you just kind of just comes to you naturally?
I just set my video camera up. Ashley Broderson's really good about it at the gym. During every exercise, her and I are like, oh, let's move our phone. Oh, let's do this. But I try to get videos of everything because I really don't know what the next thing I'm going to post is. And a lot of times you can take the most ratchet video and put text over it. People don't care what's in the background. If your information is good, they don't care.
Yeah.
Like that used to be a thing. I've had girls that joined my team recently and they're like, I don't feel like I'm like aesthetic enough to do Arbonne. I was like, what? She's like, I don't know how to be like aesthetic and like take the right pictures. I was like, girl, you don't have to. If that's not you, don't try and force that. You can't fake that for very long.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be inauthentic. Like just be you. And that's like a testament to what you said earlier. Like you watch all these people on social media that are higher up in the business and you want to be just like them. And we were on a call and I looked at her and I said, are you trying to copy me? And I didn't say it in like a rude way, but I was like, are you trying to be like me? And she's like, yeah. And I said, don't do that.
Mm-mm.
I was like, be like you. You're going to bring people into this business for you, not for you trying to be like me. That won't work for you. I was like, girl, I've tried to be like other people to try and get people to my business. It doesn't work. You have to be you. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be you. You're not going to be the person. So.
And I love how you just talked about too, like, just, I think sometimes we think we're going to attract who, like, oh, if I show up as me on social media, I will only attract me. But it's
Right.
not necessarily true. If you're in a good place in life and you're happy and you're just have this energy about you, you
Mhm.
can have your business with people of all ages. And I
Yeah.
think that part is really cool. Okay, I think we got some questions coming in here. How important is the caption on the post?
I like the caption. I don't know a lot about like the intricate algorithm anymore. I feel like it changes so much. So sometimes people are like, it's super important. And sometimes they're like, it super isn't. I use it because I know people read them because people will go down in them and see that I said comment me and they'll put me. So if sometimes I will like throw, like what's in the Green Gut Glow Quick or what it'll fix or the business opportunity 18 plus, and then all the countries we're in, comment me if you're interested. And kind of just leave it at that. Because if they want more information, I can give it to them, but I don't know. I don't want to give them something super long that they don't see the part I want them. Like the call to action is so important to me. Because if you don't have a call to action, then they're going to be like, that sounds interesting. Swipe. What's the next thing?
Yeah.
So I feel like the call to action is really big.
Okay. So you have a call to action on each of your posts. Okay. And the call to action is DM me if you want more info or follow
Comment below or
comment below. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Just a couple more. I know we're going over a little bit, but we're not going to waste our time with you. We're going to take full advantage. So do you use hashtags and where?
I use hashtags at the end of all of my captions and I do them in my pillars. I usually have a God is good, sobriety. I have Arbonne, I have healthy living, CrossFit. Like I just put stuff for all of my niches so that people that are in my niches can find me. Because a lot of times people follow hashtags in their niches. So if you want to reach more people, Dude, like I just usually do all the same hashtags or something similar.
Each time, kind of
Yeah.
the same ones and maybe add a few based on whatever the
Yeah.
post is. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Okay, really quick, and then we're gonna go because I know Pam is gonna do a DA here. How was the process of getting verified on Instagram?
Okay, so there's this thing called Meta Verified. It's $14.99 a month. I did that because people were making fake accounts of me and saying like very gross things about me. I did it as a protection for myself. So I wasn't actually verified by Instagram itself. Like I am, but I pay $14.99 for it so people know that it's me.
Okay.
Because I had a really bad issue with it for a long time of people making fake, not only Instagrams, but dating profiles. So I was getting messages from people about stuff like that. So that's how I did that. That's why I did that. So you just like upload your driver's license front and back, and then you request to be verified. You have to have 10,000 followers for it.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I love it. And that's something we can all strive to need to be verified on Instagram. I don't have anyone trying to be me.
You
But
don't
maybe one
want
day.
people to try and be you the
No,
way
I
they were
don't.
trying to be
I
me.
don't. Trust me. I
promise.
understand there's like
Yeah.
some hard stuff that comes with all those followers, but you're doing an amazing job. I
Thank you.
appreciate you so much. You guys make sure you're following Alana. It's Alana Wickering on Instagram. Easy to find her. She's adorable. You're amazing. Continue in this energy. You know, just keep going with it because you are going to change a lot of lives and you're going to just show people to really show up authentically as who they are. And you've inspired all of us to do the same. So thank you. I hope you've had a chance to read the comments. Everyone adores you. You're amazing. And super grateful for you. So thank you, Alana, for sharing with us. You guys have an awesome night. Cheers to the second half of March and promoting to district manager and all the things that are happening this month. So you guys all go for it and I think we all need to crank up our social medias a little bit. So thank you. Have an awesome night, you guys. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.